decided to upload today. This is what if. Hold on. Man, I'm tired. This is what if Issei was a GRE experiment. Now, I'm not gonna lie. The only reason I'm doing this is because your boy just beat Dying Light 2, and I'm feeling like making something Dying Light related. And I have been thinking about it recently because I thought it would be a very intriguing series to mix Dying Light and something else. Though I couldn't find myself figuring out what I wanted to do, whether I wanted to make him be trained by Crane or he was in Haran. But instead of that, I decided to do something different, and that would be what if Issei was a GRE experiment. No, anyhow. In this, there will be like a random OC character taking Issei's original space as a pawn and as the Red Dragon Emperor. His name is just Arata. That's really all I can think of. Now, we're gonna go ahead and start this story off as what could be seen was a young boy sitting in a room with pure white around him. He would be sitting on a bed sticking from the wall, somewhat elevated off of the ground. There would be a desk in the room, along with a computer. There would be a wardrobe filled with the same clothing of pure white. It was more of a jumpsuit, if anything. The boy would have he would have somewhat long black hair covering some of his face. So think of season 2 Kaneki, but his hair's black. He would have black eyes with a strange red iris within them, the pupils. He would be sitting there, looking around his room. Instinctively, he would reach up to his neck, rubbing a strange tattoo on his neck with the numbers of 375. As the boy would just be sitting there, he would be very terrified, as one minute he was at home with his family, and the next he found himself in a strange building of white. He saw a few people roaming the building, though they were wearing lab coats and masks to cover their faces, just normal face masks like the one we wear in our current day and age. He saw a few guards holding weapons, but he didn't really know what to make of it. The young Issei Hyodo, about the age of 10 at the moment, would be confused, at best to say it. He wouldn't know what to do, and how he would ever get out of this place. All he knew was that he missed his mother and father. This is when a strange sliding noise could be heard as Issei would look towards the entrance of the room that he was in, the door sliding to the left. A man wearing a white coat with a white dress shirt and a black vest under it would be standing there. He would have his face mask on, as he would be looking at the boy with apathy. He would have this visage of impassiveness. He would then say, "Come, boy. It is time for your first tests." Issei would only nod timidly as he would follow after the doctor as he left the room. As they would be walking, they would turn a corner to find themselves in front of a door that would slide open once more. As they would enter the room, Issei would see a table with straps connected to it. He would instantly be a bit worried as to what was going on. The doctor would turn and look at him as he would say, "Boy, lie down on that table." Issei would only nod as he would just lie down. Two other men in the room, guards, would strap the boy down as the man would look down at the boy, the same apathetic look on his face, as the boy would then say, Who are you?" The man would look to his left towards a strange device with strangely colored liquids within them. "Dr. Camden. You can call me Dr. Camden." As he would walk over towards the strange machine, he would pick up a vial with a dark yellow liquid in it. He would then bring it over towards a needle area where he would take a needle and suck up he would suck up a small amount of the strange liquid within the vial into the needle. Dr. Camden would walk towards Issei as he would say, "Now, this will only hurt a little, though I'm sure the after effect will hurt a lot worse." He would then stick the needle into Issei's arm before he could say anything in protest, as Issei would only slightly feel pain. He would be lying there, rather relieved that it didn't hurt, until he would feel a burning pain going throughout his entire body. Veins would bulge from his neck all the way up to his forehead, as he would be gritting his teeth before he would stop gritting his teeth and let out a blood-curdling scream. We would exit this room, as what could be seen on the outside of this entire building was a large building that would have fences all around it and multiple armed guards defending it. The building would have words written onto it that would say GRE, and that would be the end of this scene. We time skip. 5 years later, we see a 15-year-old Issei. He would be sitting in his bed. His appearance would have changed quite different, quite exponentially. He would be a lot taller now, at least hitting 6 foot. He would have a rather lean build, not too muscular, but not too thin either. His black hair would be covering his eyes completely, as he would have what revealed his eyes were the same black pupil with the red iris within them. though the red seemed a lot brighter now. He would have yellowish, glowing veins protruding from his neck that would almost come up to his cheeks, but only stopping at the sides of his chin. The boy would have dark circles around his eyes, as an obvious lack of sleep. His eyes would be very wary and focused. Dr. Camden would then enter the room. "Boy, come, it's time for your tests." Issei would only nod as he would stand up and walk behind Camden. This time around, they would find themselves in a rather large arena-type area. As Issei would only be standing there. A voice could be heard over the intercom in the room, as it would be Camden's voice. "Alright, Subject 375, prepare for combat trials." As a gate on the other side of the arena room would open, revealing multiple men with prisoner uniforms on, wearing prisoner uniforms. They would be holding random weapons given to them, as they would all charge towards Issei. Issei would look at them coldly, as he would bend down slightly, making his body lean forward as his legs would be somewhat behind him. Issei would then push off of the ground as he would vanish in a very fast speed, only able to be seen by very high quality cameras. The encounter would be over in minutes, as screams and splurts of, is that the right word? I don't know. But splashes of blood could be heard and seen, as the entire arena would be covered in blood, as Issei would be standing there, not a drop of blood on him. He would have the same calm and cold expression on his face, as Issei would then look towards the large glass window, looking back at Camden, who would be looking at him with the same apathetic look. He would then speak on the intercom. "Good, 753. Or is it 573? Either one. "The combat trials are over. Return to your cell. You will be escorted by a guard, but you should know this by now." Issei would only nod as he would walk towards the exit. As he would find himself back in his cell, he would just look around once more before sleeping. The next day, Camden would enter his room, and they would continue doing the same tests that they perform every week and every month for the past 5 years. Issei has never gotten the chance to see the outside world in these past 5 years, only knowing testing. He can't even remember his own name by now, as he's only ever called Subject 573, or Boy, by most of the staff. He is not allowed free rein out of his cell. Now, we time skip about a month later. Issei would be sitting at a table in a rather strange room. It would look like that of an interrogation room, but it wouldn't be used for that purpose. As Issei would be sitting there, a door would then open to reveal a man wearing a black trench coat and a white dress shirt with a black tie, and some black pants with black dress shoes. The man would be standing there, as he would then say, You are subject 573. Issei would only nod. Good. Quiet. Not the type to argue and chose insubordination. I like that. You will be a very good pawn. Issei would only be sitting there, listening to the man. As he then noticed something, the man would have very pointed ears, and his eyes would be a very blood red. Overall, he would look like that of a vampire, but Issei would have just shook the thought from his mind, as he did not believe in the supernatural. The man would then say, Well then, boy, I will grant you the honor of knowing my name. My name is Kokobeel, and in a few years from now, you will be serving me. Issei would only nod at this, as Kokobeel would have a smirk on his face. Good, very good. Well then, I shall take my leave, Dr. Camden. You have done good work. Dr. Camden would have a fake smile on his face. Of course, Kokobeel-sama. Anything for you. As Kokobeel would only let out a hearty laugh. He would then leave from the room. Camden would return to his same apathetic expression as he would look at Issei. 573. Return to your room. From now on, the tests and the training will only get a bit more difficult. You will be stronger by the time Kokobeel-sama returns, so that you may serve him perfectly well. Issei would only nod, as he would then just exit the room, being led back to his room, or his cell. Now, we time skip about 3 years. Issei is now 18. He has a more defined face, as he looks a lot older than he is. His black hair is still almost covering his eyes. He would be wearing a black jacket under it with a black shirt with black jeans and some black combat boots. Around his neck would be a collar that would have his number 573 on it, along with a device attached to it to shock him. There's also another purpose, and that is to explode the head. Issei would be standing in front of Kokobeel, as he would just be smirking at Issei. Issei would only look towards the man, as he would say, So, I hope you're ready. We're going to be leaving for HQ now. I expect complete loyalty and no disobedience, if you are still just as quiet and subservient as the few years ago that I saw you. Issei would not give a response. He would only look dead in the eye. He would only look Kokobeel dead in his eyes. Kokobeel would chuckle as they would begin to walk off. Issei would then be a bit shocked, as Kokobeel would shed wings, would come from his back, as a set of 10 wings would come from his back. Issei would look at Kokobeel a bit surprised, but he wouldn't show it because he was trained not to show emotion, though not that he had many emotions after all the testing. Time skip. A few hours later. The GRE. Kokobeel and Issei would walk through a door as I apologize, lost my train of thought. Anyhow, when they would enter, a woman would appear in front of Kokobeel, kneeling, as she would have... Oh, one moment. Hello. Yeah. Oh, sure. Right there. It would appear that I have other things to do. Well, I'll just leave this on a cliffhanger. I'll see you next time.